y'all? All net. All net. All net. With Mike Logic and Ideal. What up, y'all? Switch.
Yes, it's the All Net Podcast. Ideal, Mike Logic. We are live, and we are a little defeated because the Bulls just dropped a game, 100-97 to the Washington Wizards. Unfortunately for Bulls Nation out there, Michael, how you been?
What a crap that was, Ideal.
What were you saying before we came on air? Because
so my whole thing is everybody who watched the game, Zach had the ball for the final shot. And it's like, if you're not going to take a three there and you're planning on getting fouled, if Caruso's open as much as he is in this picture that I'm looking at with 3 seconds left on the clock, he is in a position where he's ready to shoot the ball, catch and shoot. So is Vooch on the other wing. If you're not shooting that three, if you're Zach LaVine, then give the ball up.
I disagree with you because you mentioned Caruso to me on the final shot attempt, and plenty of times I make mention of it all the time. He don't want nothing to do with a shot.
It's the right basketball play.
He got a shot earlier in the lane. It got passed to him. You would think he would look at the rim to try to do something with it. Nope, not Caruso. He don't want. That's a hot potato with him. He wasn't gonna shoot that one. He probably would have threw it up and rotated it into the corner to Vooch, and the time probably would have ran out.
So it looks like Zach was anticipating that they were gonna foul him and he was gonna get an and one. Because he needed 3 points. So I'm saying I'd rather Zach LaVine catch that ball, throw up a 30-footer. Zach makes tough shots all the time, but you cannot tie the game if you're shooting a two and anticipating a foul that may never come. And that's what we witnessed today. I thought that was a low IQ move on Zach's part.
You've mentioned this a lot before with
his IQ.
You're not a fan of it.
I'm not a fan of his basketball acumen.
Strong allegations. You're joining us now. Bulls fall to the Washington Wizards 100-97. Come up just about short. They were leading this game at one point by almost double 20 points pretty much.
16. Yeah, they had a 16-point lead.
Fumbled the bag. And you know, when you're 19 and 23 and you're climbing your way out of the hole you dug yourself, because we're over 40 games now into the season, and you know, more than halfway into the season, the narratives are starting to become what they are. You can no longer say, hey, this is that or this is what. These are the kind of games you need to stack on and get victories like that, especially with the Wizards being shorthanded tonight.
This is an absolutely horrible loss for this Bull squad. And I think nationwide people can't figure this team out. How are you so good against the elite teams in the East, but you play down to your competition? Now, I know you're without DeMar tonight, and you're without Javonte Green for an extended period of time. But the Wizards, they didn't have Bradley Beal. They didn't have Kristaps Porzingis. They did not have Daniel Gafford, who's a nice inside player for them. He rebounds. He protects the rim a little bit. You let Denny Avia, who averages 5 rebounds a game, go off for 20 rebounds. You let Anthony Gill, who scores under 3 points per game, go off for 18 points. This is a bad team that you lost to without those 3 other guys that we talked about.
Hey, coming down the stretch, it was a close ball game. They hit the 3 with 1 second left. I don't know how the Wizards allow Zach. He's pretty much the only guy on the court that's going to be able to catch that and create his own shot and tie it up. So he does that, and now there's about 5 seconds left in the. No, there's about 5 or 22. It's like less than 5. That you tip your cap to Kuzma because that was a tough shot, man. That was tough.
I'm not mad at that they did not foul him. I'm kind of disappointed that Vooch sagged so far off him because clearly he was going to shoot that shot. So if he gets around you because you show high on that 3. Oh, well, you'll have people to help you. He's not going to get all the way to the rim. Someone would have stepped up. At least we hope. I'm not mad about that Kuzma shot, but Vooch had to step up just a little bit more, show a little bit more. Kuzma still might have knocked down the shot. It was a hell of a shot either way.
You know, one of the players on the Wizards, I was surprised, not only getting runs still, but getting significant minutes, closing out the game down the stretch, our old pal, number 67, Taj Gibson.
The ageless wonder. 37. He looks like he did 10 years ago.
I loved him coming out of USC. Very springy. So many great memories here.
He played hard for the Chicago Bulls.
Continues to do that as well. Get 25 minutes tonight. Finished with 9 points, 8 rebounds. Not a bad night. Not a bad night at all, Mike.
Not a bad night for the Wizards. I mean, they came away with the victory. They shouldn't have, but you also have to give them credit, though. They didn't just roll over and die. They fought back. They're scrappy. I think that term gets thrown around a lot with that squad.
I was a little disappointed when you think of, you have opportunities, and there's this narrative going around that, sometimes it's hard to get shots going up with, you have your DeMar, and then you have Zach. They're ball dominant. Then you got to feed Vooch.
That really sticks out.
I thought tonight that would have been a perfect opportunity for Vooch to really put up a little bit more. I mean, he did finish with 15, so not too bad. 15 and 10. That's what he does.
He was 7 for 14. I felt like he needed at least 20 attempts because they had no inside presence. They had nobody that could stop him. I know Zach was going off, but you could definitely give Vooch a couple more attempts. He should have finished with at least 20 points. Ideal, at least 20.
And then to turn our direction of ire, you got to look at Patrick Williams finishing with 6 points.
Just super timid. Pat is just super timid.
You would think tonight, especially of all nights. I was like, Lamar's not out there.
His team needs him to step up, and once again, he does not answer the call. Who did? Kobe White played pretty good, I thought. Kobe hit some nice shots.
Kobe finished with 13.
Played some tough defense too.
It's funny you bring up Kobe. Then I want to talk about it since this is a tough loss and one of those ones where you're disappointed because they had this game in hand and they controlled it for most of the night and they just gave it away at the end, or more say the Wizards took it. But there's a lot of rumors. Obviously, the midseason's coming up. I've said this about Caruso. And now you look at Kobe White with his presence on defensive end improving, his ball handling improving. Would you make a trade and get rid of Caruso if you could for Wiseman? I know you brought that up earlier to me today.
Absolutely.
I would too.
He's 21 years old. James Wiseman will turn 22 March of 2023. So he's still he's young. He's still going to develop. Plus, he has a higher ceiling than Alex Caruso. He's a number 2 overall pick. I'll take my chances with him. And we've seen him put up big numbers at the NBA level.
So
he's just inconsistent.
If you were running the Bulls front office, then are you staying put? Are you just hoping and seeing maybe they?
I'm packaging people right now.
Right now,
because Vooch is not going to be here next season.
So then I want to ask you: then would you go ahead and package Vooch, Kobe, and that Portland pick for DeAndre Ayton? Now you got yourself Ayton, then you got yourself Wiseman.
So Wiseman's gonna come off the bench, back up Ayton. Man, that's pretty tough.
What about my boy Marco? He's falling down the depth chart.
Is he even on the squad anymore?
I don't know, man. Marco be killing in the G League. Jordan be giving me. He said, "What's your obsession with Marco?" I'm like, he can ball. He just ain't got a shot. Billy don't want to give him no run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to get Ayton. Definitely. Yeah. I'm down to get Ayton. So he's a much better defensive player than Vooch.
All right, so we're shaking it up now in this realm that me and you are running the team. Are you moving DeMar or are you moving Zach? Or are you keeping both?
I'm moving DeMar.
You're moving DeMar. Where
because
you moving him?
I'm not paying him 4 years, $154 million, where his contract will end when he's 38 years old.
Where are you moving him for? What in your mind?
I don't know.
Can we get a Buddy Hield and Miles Turner?
I mean, if we could do that.
I don't even know if that's possible.
I don't know if that's possible. The good thing about DeMar's contract, it's pretty team friendly to whatever contender wants to grab him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because he can opt out next season.
I don't want nothing to do with any LA picks. I know you're probably over there trying to work up a scenario in your head where he goes to help King James and together you two guys ride out.
I'm saying if I'm trading DeMar coming back in the like a Tyrese Maxey type talent.
All right, we're just wheeling and dealing here. We got Damian checking in and says, "Can we talk about the terrible coaching in games this year?" What is your assessment on Damian's statement?
Damian is big on Billy Donovan continuing to lose games for the Chicago Bulls, even though he's not actually out there. executing these plays that he draws up. I mean, there's certain things that the Bulls do that are fundamental, that are elementary. Like you don't foul shooters in the act of shooting. You take care of the ball at the end of the game. You're not loosey-goosey with it. The Bulls definitely had some costly turnovers in this game, had some bad fouls. I don't always put the blame on Billy. Am I sold on Billy 100%? Absolutely not.
Well, that's unfortunate considering they gave him an extension.
Absolutely not. I am not sold on Billy Donovan. But once again, because they gave him the contract extension, he's going to be here at least another season. They're not going to fire him, even if they don't make the playoffs. I don't think his job is in jeopardy.
You just joined us. Chicago Bulls drop one to the Washington Wizards, 100-97. Just come up short. Zach LaVine leads the team with 38 points in 41 minutes. Vucevic kicked in 15 and 39. And Kobe as well with 13 and 29 minutes for the Wizards. They were led by Kyle Kuzma, who hit that dagger in the last waning seconds of the game. Mike, a tough fadeaway three to answer Zach LaVine's. He finishes with 21 and 38. And Anthony Gill, you mentioned.
Would you have taken the foul there? I mean, hindsight's 2020, but would you have taken?
I'm not big on fouling there sometimes.
That was going to be a tough shot.
No, it's just sometimes it's finicky. You go to foul, and then this guy just throwing his hands through you, initiating contact. The next thing you know, they're trying to get a shooting foul on you, and it's. I'm
just saying they made him take a tough shot.
No, it is what it is to me. That was a tough shot. He had a shot. You tip your cap. All you could do is go back down and hit your own three to go and get it, and that's where we started again. The show off is, I think we were all kind of exasperated as Zach goes in, and I don't know if he was expecting the call from the refs, and they just went up with it, or he really just didn't know they needed 3 points to tie the game.
He had 5 seconds. What was he gonna do in those 5 seconds? That wasn't behind the 3-point line to help at least tie this game up. But another thing I was looking at, and I think I mentioned this to you before we were on air, I just don't understand how the Bulls got out rebounded 52-39. Gafford, no KP.
They don't really gang rebound as a lot of teams do. It seems like they're like content to let Vooch go ahead, Vooch, clean it up when I think everybody needs it be coming in. I don't know if the guards and the wings are getting out too quick, trying to start the fast break transition the other way or whatnot, but they certainly are not gang rebounding in it. And it leads, and this has been a common theme all year, which is why I was intrigued when they brought up Wiseman for Caruso, just given the fact I know Wiseman's hurt a lot too, but Caruso is as well. And you figured at least Wiseman will help you clean the glass, bring a little length and defensive presence. So I'd
rather take my chances with a player whose ceiling is way, way higher than Alex Caruso. And their contracts are sort of similar too. Wiseman, you're going to have to pay, I believe, $12 million next season. So maybe that is something else that you have to take in consideration. Have you seen enough James Wiseman where you're like, oh yeah, I can spend $12 million on this guy?
We might be getting ahead of ourselves. There was a lot of talk. They'll probably be staying pat, hoping to see what comes up in the second half.
If I'm the Golden State Warriors, I'm not trading James Wiseman. I'm just gonna develop him.
Well,
do my best to.
Bulls fall to 19 and 23 on the season. Right now, what are they about? They're peaking outside of the playoff run. If it were to start today, they're on the outside probably. Around there, you know how it goes, Mikey.
Yeah, something like that. They're trash. Fourth in the Central Division, 19-23, like you mentioned. They got 3 games coming up against Oklahoma at home. Then they play the Golden State Warriors at home on a Sunday, 2:30. Then I believe they play the Hawks. I mean, OKC is definitely not a for sure win. That's another scrappy young squad with a young stud. Well,
SGA?
I don't know. Josh Giddey's kind of a stud too.
Mm-hmm.
He had a triple-double the other night. High triple-double.
Fantastic basketball IQ on him. I think.
Great playmaker.
Plays the game with very heady.
Him and SGA.
Coach's son, Jim Rat.
Was he a coach's son? You just
I
making
don't
it
know.
up?
I'm just making all the.
SGA is also another non-selfish player. So, I mean, the culture in Oklahoma City is just getting better and better. We'll see what happens when Chet Holmgren's healthy, and we'll see who they end up with in the draft. But, yeah, the Bulls are going to be in for a game. It's not going to be a blowout. I'm guessing maybe the Bulls will be favored by 3.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think it really does come down to a simple game. They really got to just play off of Vooch. They say it every game, and you notice the difference when they make a concerted effort to go in there. He's a willing passer, gets you into good shots. If they dump the ball into Vooch to start the game and they keep it consistent throughout, I feel the Bulls will take a win over OKC.
Back to Damian's point about Billy. Maybe that is a little bit on Billy, where he sees him going away from Vooch. Maybe he needs to use a timeout and redirect them, because clearly there is not a floor general out there per se. You know, Dragic does it a little bit. I don't think